Hello, this is a very quick video to introduce Linux to people who haven't done any Linux stuff before. I'm going to type some commands and tell you what I'm doing. So I'm starting off with mkdir for make directory Linux test, which is going to have created a directory called Linux test, and we can change into that by typing cd for change directory. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to press the tab key, which is a complete option, and if you are type part of a thing and then press tab, it will match it to files that match. So it's a good way of not having to type so much. So now we've got a directory. We can type nano to edit a file name. So we're going to type nano new file.txt, and that's going to create a new file.txt where we can say hello, I am a new file. That creates a new file, and we do Control X, and it asks if I want to save. Control X for exit, then I say Y for yes, and it says file name to write, new file.txt down here, and I say yes, and then I've got a file called new file. Now I've got a file, I can do ls to list the directory, I can do ls -l, and quite often commands take arguments which have a minus in front of them, and that gives you a different view on what's going on. So ls just gives you a list of the files, ls -l gives you a list with some metadata, so the time it was created and the permissions and the size and so on. We can do wc and then a file name. Wc stands for word count, so that tells me we got 1 line, 6 words, 23 characters in new file.txt. If we just wanted to find the characters, we could do wc -c, that gives us just the characters, and so on. So Linux has got hundreds of commands, and all of them have options with a minus that let them do slightly different things. This makes it quite complicated, but it also makes it quite powerful. Another command I want to show you is cat, which concatenates files together or concatenates files onto the screen. So if we do cat new file.txt, we see the contents of the file. So ls new file.txt, I just pressed tab then so I didn't have to type it again, tells you the name of the new file, and cat new file.txt gives you the contents. You'll see that I just jump in between commands here as if by magic, and I'm doing that by using the up and the down arrow. So you can always access previous things you've typed using the up and the down arrow to just scroll through them, and if you decide you wanted to say edit a new file, you could scroll up to our nano file one. Where is that? There we are, nano new file. We could have nano new file 2.txt, and that's just run the same command but with a slightly different thing. So this is another file we're creating to test what's going on in Linux, and it's got a few more lines than the previous one. Full stop. Control X to save. Save yes. File name yes. Now if we do our ls command, we've got 2 files, and if we do ls -l, you can see the first file, new file.txt, was created at 9:17, and new file 2 was created at 9:20, and if we do wc -l new file 2.txt, we can see that it's got 8 lines, whereas if we do wc -l new file.txt, we see it's got 1 line. So we're already creating files, editing them, and doing stuff like that. We can cat the files, so cat new file 2.txt, just gives the contents to the screen. We've got in Linux the concept of a wildcard, which is a character that matches anything. So if we do cat star, it's going to open all of the files. So you've got this is the contents of new file 2, and this is the content of a new file. So that gives you both, and we could do wc star, and that will count all of the files in the directory. I think that's enough of a just quick intro. I've given you quite a few Linux commands, and the aim is just to show you the command line working, and that will do.